Welcome to the Streets.mn podcast, the show where we highlight how transportation and land use can make our communities better places. Coming to you from beautiful uptown Minneapolis, Minnesota, I am your host, Ian R. Buck. During my recent vacation, I was delighted to receive a text from my parents saying that they wanted to explore Minneapolis more and asking if they could stay at my apartment for a while. I thought it would be fun to check in with them about what the experience was like, staying in another neighborhood of their home metro area. Dad, this is probably your podcast debut, right?
This is my debut.
And Mom, you were on one episode of, Second Opinion, one of my tech-related podcasts way back in the day.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Because we were, reviewing a map, Google Vacations or the travel app or whatever that they had.
When we went to Chicago.
Yeah. Related, this is another travel, topic, but it's kind of an anti-travel topic. So everybody, this is Eric and Amy Buck. They're my parents. I'm going to be calling them Mom and Dad for the rest of this episode.
That's okay with me.
But they're Amy and Eric to the rest of you. So Mom and Dad, while I was gone for 3 weeks out in Canada and Michigan and, traveling around, I was very surprised to get a text message from you saying, hey, we want to do a staycation kind of thing, but we want to do it at your house so that we can explore Minneapolis. Because you two have lived in St. Paul for my entire life and a little bit longer than that and wanted to see more of Minneapolis. So, let's talk about that. I was delighted when I got that text message, honestly.
Good. And we were glad that you said yes.
Yeah.
Part of it was that, realizing we weren't really going to be able to or wanted to travel somewhere else. But vacations or time off is always better when you go somewhere else than staying at home. Mm-hmm. And so the house was taken care of, whatever, for a few days, we're good. So I thought, all right, where can we go?
Right.
Venture across the river.
And so when you say things are always better when you leave the house, are you thinking about, there are chores that are going to occupy my mind while I'm here, whatever?
Sometimes it's okay to stay busy with chores. I don't mind that sometimes, but it's more exotic when you get away from your own house. Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing is I've been trying deliberately every other month to have Dad and I go on a little long weekend, just the two of us, because we didn't have much opportunity to do that.
We're busy raising children.
We are still not empty nesters, so it's important for us to get away and be in a different space.
Yeah. And instead of choosing an adorable Airbnb that is, all put together and has all the cutest artwork, everything's chic, you chose my little apartment that I've been here for so little time that I don't even have, I'm looking at the artwork in a pile over there in the corner right now.
Right. Well, but it felt familiar. Mm-hmm. It felt comfortable. And I was surprised actually at how quiet your apartment building and a few black, the neighborhood right here where you are.
Yeah.
And for us, that was perfect. It's, we've taken a couple of other trips where we went, to Hayward, Wisconsin, where you rent a little cabin, but then when you want to see people, you go into town, but, or we went up to Grand Marais in the off seson and, and it was kind of the same thing. You stayed
in a place that looked like a lighthouse.
Yes, but it was so cute. But, when you want to see people, you go to the folk school, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Anyway, or, you go to a restaurant or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, I can tell you that right now, during this summer season, it is louder than usual right near my apartment because Hennepin is currently one way, one lane only. Mm-hmm. And so all of the trucks that need to make deliveries to the Kowalskis, they come right here on 25th, which is not going to be the case, when we reach December or whenever this construction ends. So
that'd be good to have that done with.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you say that you're surprised how quiet it is here because it will be even quieter yet. very, very soon.
Well, we didn't notice
Yeah,
trucks
we didn't
going
notice a
through and
lot.
stuff.
I mostly notice them like in the mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're making their morning rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wanted to explore Minneapolis a little bit. Like, how far out were you thinking in terms of exploring Minneapolis? Or like, were you mostly exploring the uptown area here, or were you like kind of far ranging?
Well, to be honest, we're the type that like to walk and just explore nature. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to walk the lakes.
Heck yeah.
That's actually what I wanted to do. That, and we wanted to go out for an evening with Jonas and Miles.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's my brother and his boyfriend. They live, like 3 or 4 blocks from me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we dropped in on them. Yeah, it was nice that a couple of our stops were within, driving distance, but a very, very short drive. Mm-hmm. And then we would park and walk around that lake, hour or whatever it took us, or saw one of the parks, the Parkway, the garden.
Oh.
What was that called?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
You mean the
over
Rose
by
Garden
Lake.
and the Peace Garden
The
down
Peace,
at Harriet?
Peace
Harriet,
Garden and stuff like that,
yeah.
yeah. And so those are nice things that, ideally, there was a lot of good stuff within walking distance here, but we also didn't want to spend all of our walking energy just getting to the place that we wanted to walk. Mm-hmm. So it was just really cool to have beautiful lakes around here.
Can I also tell you how friendly your neighborhood?
Oh, yeah?
Oh my gosh. So the first day, we walked from here across Hennepin and got like 1 block over, and this lady looks at us and she goes, "The tulip lady died." And I didn't know who the tulip lady was.
Yeah.
But I thought, she must be really important to this neighborhood. So I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," And then we realized later, when you look it up, literally we were a block from the tulip lady's house. Mm-hmm. And obviously she was really important in the neighborhood. And anyway, it just showed how friendly and neighborly your neighborhood is.
Well, and like Jonas and Miles, like you said, they live very close to here, and they haven't been in this neighborhood very long either. Mm-hmm. They knew about the tulip lady.
Right.
They knew who she was. Yeah, we did choose not to go on the cat tour because it looked like there were a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. That's hundreds of people. Yeah.
That's not why we were here.
Yeah.
That's not why we were here.
Our vacation was more, us and nature and select people that we wanted to see.
I could have lived vicariously through you if you had hung out with all of my friends during the cat tour. That would have been really funny.
Yeah, that would have been.
Still probably no.
No.
That's just a lot of people to hang out with.
Well, maybe my friends would understand better why I am the way I am if they met you.
See, there you go.
Especially without me around.
Ooh, that's true. Don't need to filter.
Yeah. So speaking of like Lake of the Isles, one thing that I regret about this is that I do wish that I had known that you two were going to be staying here before I left, because I would have loved to have given you a little like tutorial on how to use my raft, to go paddling around. Yeah. Now, of course, the park board does have kayak rentals over there on the so if you wanted to paddle, you absolutely could have figured out a way to do that. But all of the amenities of my home and my home as it relates to where I live, is like I know all of the little things that I have built around here, but that's not necessarily going to be obvious to somebody else who's staying at my place unless I point it out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we know where your bikes are.
You do.
One in the living room and one right there by the front door.
One of them would fit you, Dad, and then the Brompton, which lives under the bed, that would have fit you, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one's the seat goes all the way up and it goes all the way down.
I would be lowering your seat though, because
probably
I don't ride it the way you do.
Yeah. Which is why you would be allowed to ride my commuter bike and not my touring bike, because the touring bike is dialed in exactly where I want it, and we are not changing that.
No touchy.
No touchy, that one. Aside from the price, which obviously was free, like what is the appeal of doing a homestay, like a home swap kind of thing, rather than staying at, I mean, we have hotels in Minneapolis, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, again,
Well, and Airbnbs and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That you pay for.
yeah. Well, and like I said, on our outings, just the two of us, I look at hotel stays as more, you go to a conference, and there's this purpose that you're there and you're with other people and da-da-da.
And often the conference is in the hotel building as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're only
Or
in your
you
room
go to a family wedding and people are all staying in the hotel and,
mhm.
you have a reason to do that. For these outings for us, I want more of an intimate space, that's just for the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and in hotels, quite often you're gone for the day. You come back maybe after dinner or whatever, and you crash for the night, get up in the morning, have the continental breakfast, and off you go for the day.
Right.
Here, staying overnight, and then we're relaxed. It's a very comfortable place, a way to stay during the day if we want to relax a little longer or come back for a nap or whatever, go off and do something and come back for a while. We can make our dinner here or whatever.
Well, we had
And
one
so
day
it's-
where it rained and it just sort of felt like you were, I mean, I know it doesn't feel like a cabin, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we just stayed in and played games and hung out and read books and napped and whatever,
Yeah.
And it feels different than in a hotel room,
Right.
like
right.
It doesn't
Like
have the
it's-
same comforts.
yeah. I mean, this is comfy.
And I mean, American hotel rooms, which are larger than hotel rooms that you find in a lot of the world,
Right.
are still, like you said, it's a space that definitely feels like its purpose is just sleeping
Yeah.
and showering.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but because it was so hot the very first night, yeah, we took your mattress off and pulled it into your living room.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Right in front of the
right
air
in front
conditioner.
of the air conditioner, and we just kept it there because it's like, you know what? It actually feels more like cabiny, or
Sure,
like
sleeping on the floor.
comfort,
Yeah. You made my place into a studio apartment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, and your bedroom is your bedroom.
Right.
Okay, fair.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of that too. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, we'd sleep on your bed because you're not there and it's whatever, but it would added a whole different feel to it.
Yeah.
Sleeping on a mattress on the floor in the living room. And
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like I do have my place thought out and set up enough to be able to host other people here. Like I have a profile on warm showers, which we have talked about on the podcast before, and that's a very specific context of like, bike tourists and like people who are traveling by bike are happy with pretty much anything that you'll throw at them in terms
It's
of a
the
place to stay.
culture that's all part of that.
But I do have like, there's an extra set of sheets that are in my closet that like I only bring those out when it's a guest who's going to be sleeping in the bed, and then I usually go and sleep at Stina's place when there's somebody else who's sleeping here. But the infrastructure is in place enough for me to
Yeah.
I'm not weirded out by like, somebody else is like sleeping in my bedroom right now, because being able to have guests over is like part of the reason that I have my own space. Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
So what was your favorite thing that you did over here in Minneapolis? Was there anything like new that you hadn't ever seen before? Because Mom, you grew up in Robbinsdale,
Right. And my experience of the lakes,
Which is a neighboring suburb of Minneapolis.
first string
For
suburb.
those
yeah.
of you out there who don't know Robbinsdale.
right.
So it's not like you've never been to the Guthrie or something like that.
Right. Well, no, and like I said, our focus was the lakes.
Mm-hmm.
And historically, Lake of the Isles was always my favorite because it wasn't just round. It's curvy and it's
Yeah.
and I was a runner back then, and it was just a really interesting lake to run around, right?
My hot take is that it's also the most interesting lake to paddle around because there are the islands in the middle of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which I've never done, and we will have to come back and do that.
Do you go onto the islands?
No, you're not allowed to.
Okay, I didn't think
those
so.
are
Right,
like
there were-
wildlife
Yeah, okay.
preserves.
Yeah, there were signs on them. Yeah. Our second lake that we went to was Cedar, and we did not realize we went up the west side, and then you come to this meadow, and you can see downtown, and you can see that people are actually biking their biking to and from downtown. You're like, oh wow, that's really cool. 394 is right there, and we just kept walking, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, there's construction. There's like a light rail being put in here. Oh,
Yep, that's going to be the Green Line extension.
yeah, but it was blocked off to get back on the east side of Cedar. So you had to keep going on the path, and you keep going along 394, and you keep going, and you end up in Kenwood, and I'm like, oh my, we are way up in Kenwood. Like, wow. So I took a little break there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you kind of go down Kenwood Parkway, and you come back to Lake of the Isles before you get back to Cedar.
Yeah.
I'm a transplant from the Chicago area, and so Amy's the one who brought me here. And I moved into St. Paul, and that's where I've always lived for 35 years, whatever it's been. And I don't make it over here to the side of town very much, the Minneapolis side. And I think I've walked around Lake of the Isles maybe once with you. I don't know, long time ago. But I think, too, that this gave you the opportunity to show off these really cool trails going around the lakes. Because I think you really enjoyed kind of reliving them, but also introducing them to me so we could have that shared experience.
I never walked around Cedar before, though. No? I think that was new.
So Cedar is an interesting example of like all of the lakefront is public property, but a bunch of the houses along the east side of the lake, they have kind of manicured their lawns to make it feel like the lawn goes all the way to the lake. And some of them even put short fences that go all the way to the water. And so a lot of people, when they're walking around the lake, are under the impression, oh, I'm not allowed to hike there. That must be private property. But it is, in fact, public land. And you can just keep walking, as long as you're like
step over the
within
little
like,
fences
you can, yeah. And I think the park board has like made those people take down the fences. But, other than that, it's like, it doesn't like feel like a welcoming space. It doesn't feel right to be walking there.
Right.
Even though you're totally allowed to.
Well,
we didn't even get close to that.
Right. The detour brought us further out. I'm drawing this from my point of view, further to the east. And so we were, so one of the things that I really, got into with this too, is we enjoyed looking for some geocaches while we were out walking around. There were a few here and there. And so we would, look at the geocaching map and it's like, all right, this one's along the lake. We'll find that one or try. And sometimes there are others a little further out in the neighborhood, whatever, and find some of those. So that was too one of the things that led us out on some of our walks, that it helped us to, okay, we're going to look for these caches that are off in this direction. There's 3 of them out there. We'll go this way. So that also brought us into other parts of...
Yeah, we even found a couple on the Greenway, and then we found a third one on the Greenway that was...
premium membership find, and I don't have premium membership, but the little dot on the map showed where it would be, and
we found it anyway.
Because it was in kind of a classic place. So once I get a premium membership, then I'll log that one in. But anyway, so that was another cool thing, that there's just a lot of neat. It's another way to get you out from your usual track.
Yeah. And then one day we spent probably more of a day down at Lake Harriet, and I had forgotten how canopied it was. It
like
was
tree-wise, or okay.
Oh, so nice. If there hadn't been so many airplanes.
Oh, yeah, the airport.
That would have been my fave.
Minneapolis, St. Paul, MSP.
Yeah.
Because, it was kind of a warm week. And so, having that canopy was just wonderful. And then we went to the Peace Garden and the Rose Garden and the Bird Sanctuary. And we sat and ate near the band shell and watched the sailboats, and it was just it was a lovely morning down there.
I don't suppose that you guys caught any events going on, was there any music at the band shell or anything like that?
No, we didn't.
It was during the day and it was during the week.
Oh, sure.
So
because we were there like noonish, so we were trying to get our walks in the morning.
And that's something that I kind of struggle with still, is like keeping up on when and where like free public events are going to be happening, interesting things to go and see and do, which I guess is kind of, that like, that's what you get for living in a city, is like, well, there's always something going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said,
you just need to know
cat
where it is.
thing was the big thing that week.
That's a big thing.
That was the big thing that week.
The route didn't like come right past this window or anything, I don't think. Yeah.
And but we did have a really good time with Jonas and Miles at the Bryant Lake Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had really good vegetarian chili. I would highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
And the bowling was so fun, so old school.
Yeah.
You had to keep track of the score yourself.
I enjoy that experience occasionally. I don't think that I would want like Bryant Lake Bowl to be the only place that I go bowling.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it feels quaint, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got lost one evening. We decided to try to walk the east side of Lake of the Isles and then kind of make our way over to the ice cream place, Milk Jam.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a little lost, so we kind of took more of a house tour,
Sure.
Yeah, there are beautiful homes around to look at too.
Yeah,
while
we were wowing at,
we got our steps in and our heart points in that day. That's for sure. We kept going
did,
and going,
but we were
kind
of like, I think we kind of missed Lindale. Where did Lindale go? That was our fault.
Went the wrong way.
So did you? So you were like going west instead of east?
Well, we went down along the lake, and then we went east, but we kind of kept going east instead of.
So you ended up like somewhere over in Whittier or something.
Yeah, only a few blocks.
Sure.
But, we kind of realized, we
it-
weren't finding Lindale because I think I was mixed up as to what the roads were north, south, and east, west. Because it is a little confusing.
The numbers go east, west. The alphabetical
still
streets go
throws me.
north, south.
I'm still confused over here on this side of town. Like, I don't know what we're doing.
Anyway.
But it was still a beautiful walk. It was a really nice walk.
It was very nice.
And we started getting the giggles because it's like, how lost are we?
Yeah.
How out of place are we from where we were meaning to go?
And that part of town is a little more hopping.
Sure.
There's more people out.
Getting down towards like Lake in Hennepin or Lake in Lindale.
Yeah. Yeah. We were like, it actually feels like we're out and about on an evening. As you can tell, we're not late night people.
Out on the town in our t-shirts and shorts.
Yeah. Trying to find
Dressed
the
in
ice
our
cream
finest.
place.
I mean, you definitely wouldn't stand out in t-shirts and shorts in uptown. Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah, I think we fit in.
Mm-hmm.
The most like high profile, the most famous portrayal of this neighborhood that I'm aware of is do you remember the movie Contagion that we went to see in the theater? Like you and me and Caleb and Jonas.
How long ago?
That came out, I was probably in high school or early college.
That's when we would have seen it over here?
I think so. Yeah, because we saw it at we probably saw it at the Plaza. So I think
Okay.
it was probably like 6 months after it came out,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
But Matt Damon was one of the stars of that movie. The story starts with this family in, I don't know, Edina or
Somewhere, yeah.
some suburb of Minneapolis,
Right.
where like you said, the wife comes back from a trip to China, I think.
She was coming back from China, had a layover in Chicago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and she ends up being like patient zero in the U.S. for this contagion that becomes a global pandemic. And there's a scene that I very specifically remember where Matt Damon, after his wife gets home, and then like the next day he's on his way to work on the bus, and they knew that she had gotten sick and she was in the hospital, and so the doctors were telling him like, well, you can still go to work, but keep an eye on your symptoms and call us if anything comes up. And he realizes that he's getting a bad cough while he's on the bus, so he calls them with his cell phone and he's like, what should I do? And they're like, where are you? And he looks out the window and he goes, I'm at Lake and Lindale.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, okay, get off of the bus. Try not to be in contact with anybody else. We will come in a car and pick you up. And so, of course, he gets, the busiest intersection
Oh my gosh.
in this part of town,
Yes.
right? Like
Right.
trying to avoid other pedestrians.
It's
and
not gonna
everything.
happen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
I guess we need to
We should-
rewatch
It was a very good movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
now that we're 5 years out from the start of COVID-19, I feel like I feel like I'm at a point mentally where I could watch that movie again.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's
don't want to relive COVID.
No.
no. Anyway, yeah. So right there,
Wow.
that is fun when you have a space in a movie that you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and of course, at the time, I didn't know Lake
Right.
and Lindale from Adam.
Because
Right.
you were
Right,
in high school on the other side of the
Yeah.
river.
And like
St.
you
Paul.
said, you were a transplant dad. You have only ever lived on the east side of St. Paul here in the Twin Cities. And like I grew up on the east side of St. Paul. So like sometimes people will we'll be talking about like the 35W bridge collapse or whatever. And they're like, oh, you must remember that super well because you grew up here. And I'm like, Minneapolis was a different planet.
Well, plus you guys were in Iowa anyway. When it happened.
Well, when it happened, but
Yeah.
still the reference of 35W bridge.
Oh yeah.
What?
That
Right.
wasn't a bridge.
We
that
had
went
35E.
over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
35E is
We
in our
didn't-
neighborhood.
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
when I was that was probably when I was in middle school. And, so it's like, how often did I make it to Minneapolis for
Right.
student trips or whatever? Like never.
Never.
Right.
Right.
I grew up in the Twin Cities, and I never went on that bridge. That was just not a bridge I ever went
Sure.
on.
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes diagonal from where you lived. So
Right,
yeah, it would
right.
not have taken you to or from home. Yeah.
No. Well, the other things that we did, we went swimming at Cedar Lake on the south end.
Lovely
that
beach.
was lovely, lovely.
Did you know that the beach on the east end has a mud pit near it? You could have gone and had a mud bath.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are you doing after this?
Let's see. What else did we do?
Well, at the beach, we saw a guy catch a largemouth bass.
Oh yeah, he was a young guy. He was so excited. He caught
Well,
I don't know.
we're in
Okay,
we're in Minnesota. so,
How big is the fish, right?
So-
But the mouth was huge. It was like this.
so they're
So
right
that-
off
that
of the
was-
swimming area.
I'm guessing that you held up a diameter of like 4 inches, Mom. That's a very large mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
And this 12-inch fish was about 3 feet long, because we live in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Anyway, and we appreciated that the grocery stores were within walking distance because, of course, good soups and salads from Lunds and Byerly's, and
Aldi was right here.
bought some stuff from Aldi.
Lunds and Byerly's.
Yeah, we walked down
Oh, that's
on the other side of the Greenway.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and the Greenway is really close, so that was a nice
Oh, you're
walk.
right. There is Kowalski's, but there was
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was right there because there's so much construction.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And we did go eat at the
Uptown
Uptown Cafe.
The Uptown Cafe.
Yeah.
Mhm. I love that one.
breakfast.
Oh
all
my
day.
gosh! Like my food was 4 meals for me.
Yeah, and I got like 3 meals out of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was kind of what we did.
Yeah.
But it was nice that going back to kind of your original question, that the staycation, the place is familiar enough, but it's also exotic enough. Familiar because there's enough things around that we know about or maybe have seen once upon a time. But the nature of there are things here that are new to us, which made it special in that regard. So it's really cool to have both sides on that one.
And the rainy day, we did think about going to the MIA,
Oh, sure.
Right.
but we decided to just kind of do a cabin thing instead.
We wanted to rest.
Yeah.
It's
On the
like,
rest
okay.
that day. So
Yeah. That was one of the other apartments that was like at the top of my short list are the brick buildings that are right across the street from the MIA.
oh wow.
So that
Well, those are beautiful.
they were
I've
beautiful.
eyeballed those apartment buildings from the outside many times from kid field trips and stuff like that. It's like, oh, those look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have one of my kids live in one of those someday. Oh, so close.
I think that your stay, if I had lived there, your staycation would have been significantly different. Even though it feels like it's very close to here, like the fact that this apartment in the Wedge is a 10-minute walk from the lake, I think is like kind of the defining feature of this apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Whereas the other one is like, what have you got within a 10-minute walk? 35W.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't have felt the same as what we would have been looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
This
Quiet,
really,
natural.
Yeah. This really was a wonderful place to stay. And
I'm amazed when you started talking about all these lakes. I know that Minneapolis is full of lakes, but you're talking about how far around they are to walk them. It's like, wait, there's that many lakes of that size in the city?
Mm-hmm.
That surprised me. And so that was really cool to, like, okay, a lake a day isn't going to do
oh yeah,
the trick.
there's
So
still
we're going to have to
two
do this
more
again
down
sometime,
there, and
okay?
you got the Eloise Butler Garden, and then you go up further to, Theater Worth. And
So let us know the
there's
next
all
time you're out of
kinds
town, okay?
There's, you could bring a bike next time and go up further, and they got the grand rounds, and so and Minneapolis is known for its
Recreational,
bike and walking paths and all of that. So it
Are
is.
the lakes-
St. Paul is no slouch either, of course.
Yeah.
No,
But you've explored a lot of those trails.
Are the
already.
lakes connected by channels and things like that?
They
Like
are called the chain of lakes because
the chain of lakes.
yes,
Okay.
they are.
I'm just
Yeah.
So
Well,
you could take your kayak or a canoe or
Yep,
whatever and
yep.
go from one to the next and
yeah,
paddle
so
through.
The
and-
farthest north that you can get is just on the other side of Cedar Lake. There's another really teeny tiny little lake called Brown Lake, something like that. And then you can get through Cedar, through Lake of the Isles, and to Bede-Makaska, but there's not a direct. I think it's like underground culverts
To get to
that
Comus?
connect Bede-Makaska to Harriet.
Harriet. Okay.
Yep.
And then
Hold your
Nokomis
breath.
is over a little further.
Yeah, I think. Does Minnehaha Creek touch Harriet? I don't know. You can. So yeah, Minnehaha Creek takes you to Nokomis and what's the other lake over there? There's one more.
Is there?
Yeah, Hiawatha. Yeah.
Don't look at me.
I'm not familiar.
Here comes a map.
There's Minnehaha Creek goes into Lake Hiawatha and then it comes back out and
And it goes to the river.
and
right,
Lake
the Mississippi.
Hiawatha and Nokomis are. I don't think that they are connected by.
There's a channel.
Oh, Minnehaha does connect both of them. Yes.
Looks like it's a controlled waterway. It looks.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, we got even more lakes to check out.
But of course, those two are over in the part of town where everything is named after Longfellow's, Song of Hiawatha.
Right.
So Nokomis is a princess, in that story, and Hiawatha is like the warrior.
And my great-great-grandmother was Minnehaha.
Oh my God,
Tuttle.
that's right.
First name Minnie, middle name Haha. Yeah. And Nokomis.
Hey, that shows they
Unbelievable.
were educated. Come on.
It shows that they were into the thing that was most popular in this country at the time.
Right. Because she was born in 18. I gotta think about this. 63.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's like the equivalent of, I don't know, naming your two children like Thor and Loki if they were born in, 2014.
Yeah.
Dang, should we have some more kids?
Yeah.
We're kind of beyond that. We'll leave it up to our children to have the kids with those names.
Yeah. So one of the arguments that comes up time and time again is somebody's always claiming that Uptown is dead. What is your take on that now that you've done a little staycation in this part of town?
Well,
Is the wedge within Uptown?
So Uptown is like the 4 different neighborhoods that are all centered on Lake and Hennepin. Yep. So that would be.
Can't remember. I'm a transplant, so.
So you've got the Wedge, which is Lowry Hill East. You've got East Isles, South Uptown, and whatever is across Hennepin from South Uptown.
Southwest Uptown.
I don't know if we're the right people to ask because we're not.
That's why I'm asking.
So for
Well,
us, it had the right. For our especially for our purpose in being here, it was a perfect balance of what we were looking for. You know, it was quiet, but there were people around. If we wanted something to do, there were things around that we could find that would give us something to do. But we're also totally fine with not having anything to do, and we'll just go out and wander and just see what we happen upon. That's not all, glitzy and cosmopolitan and all that stuff. So
Come on, we're from St. Paul.
we are people. we are people
which
who
is quiet
like it.
and quiet.
Yeah,
so.
we like it. It's, quieter and peaceful. The nature, whatever. And to us, that's hopping. So it's not the kind of thing like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna get dressed up and where are we gonna go now?
Right.
You know, and see some expensive show or whatever, Now, granted, we were here during the week.
The theater. We didn't,
we were here during the week, not a weekend. So maybe if we were here on a weekend, there might have been some shows that, live band, local live band kinds of things or something like that other place might have. That would have been of interest, and that's one of the things I've appreciated about what I see about Minneapolis, at least, is all these little places have these house bands or traveling bands that come in or stuff like that, whatever. But we were here at a different time, of the week for that, and it served our purpose to just relax and be quiet. And
yeah. So to give you a little bit of insight about the whole Uptown is Dead conversation, I think a lot of that started because I want to say 15 years ago, like the commercial space right around Lake and Hennepin, there were a lot of like well-known national brands that all kind of moved in, that had like the Patagonia store would have been there, the, like direct to consumer kind of, like the, I don't know, the North Face, that what,
kind of like on Grand and Victoria.
Kind of. Yeah. And then a few years ago, a lot of those companies started moving out of there, and and now those storefronts are all just kind of empty because the rents for commercial spaces were very high because they were being taken up by well-known national brands, right? And so nobody had the market has not like corrected yet for that, and so a lot of the people who claim that Uptown is dead are thinking about the fact that like this used to be a retail space that had regional draw, like people would come to Uptown instead of going to Southdale Mall, right? Like,
right.
And so in that sense, yes, it is not serving the purpose that these people are remembering. But does that mean that Uptown is dead? It means that it's evolving into something else.
Right.
Yeah.
And those places you're mentioning are, I don't know how to say, upscale kinds of places, with those name brands like that, I can see where, that's the place to go because I got money and I like this high brand stuff and let's go shopping there. And while we're there, there's other stuff we can do, restaurants or whatever.
Yeah.
And
so
if those are
us,
gone,
we're not shoppers
Exactly.
anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
That's why it amused me to ask you that question. Because I knew that
we would be going to, oh, hey, look at this little antique shop.
Right. If Uptown were still alive, as in those people's minds, it would not have been like, that would not have been a positive for the two of you having your staycation experience here anyway.
Right. I do like camping gear, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was more like a Midwest mountaineering or something.
I do not remember exactly which brands were here. I cannot guarantee that it was Patagonia or North Face or whatever. That's because I moved in here long after Uptown was dead.
Yeah, but you got my attention with those names.
Yeah. Nowadays, like Uptown has a lot more. There are some really fancy apartment buildings right down there right along the Greenway.
Oh yeah.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, and so like I feel like we're at a point where everybody thinks that what we need is a coffee shop.
So all of these apartments have a coffee shop on the main level?
There's a lot of coffee shops, and I think that we're about to see a market correction in that regard of like some of the coffee shops are going to be closing because there's just too many of them. Yeah. So like things are always shifting and evolving and like, figuring out what what does the community actually need in this
What's the
space?
next? More bike shops.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And walking shoes.
That's true. They should have a shoe shop.
That would be good. Since it's such a walkable neighborhood.
Exactly.
Sound like nephew, whatever.
We did appreciate that we had the same spot like every day.
Oh, the parking spot?
The parking spot
Across the
from
street.
across the street.
There you go. That was the other question I was going to ask
And
you.
I think it's still I think it was open when we pulled up.
Today,
But we parked, since we came from the other direction.
Yeah. So everybody, when both Lindale and Hennepin, are being, they're what the configuration of the street is going to be once it's reconstructed, that debate already happened for Hennepin. It's currently ongoing for Lindale. And the question is like, how much of this on-street parking do we need? How hard is it actually to park in Uptown? And of course, a lot of the people who are advocating for keeping parking are thinking like literally right there on that street. How am I going to park right outside of the business that I want to go to?
Right. That is something to consider, though.
You're
not parking all in the neighborhoods and blocking everybody else.
I mean, we are 1.5 short blocks from Hennepin, and there's plenty of parking right here.
There's plenty of parking.
Yeah. So, anything else that you wanted to talk about with the staycation experience?
I don't know. I was just wondering when you're leaving town again. We're welcome to, we're willing to offer our services for watching your space if we needed to do that again sometime. There's a lot more to explore. I mean, that's one of the things that we discover is that we were here for 4 days, something like that, and just with our mindset of what we were looking for, there's still a heck of a lot more to do. A lot more lakes, a lot more trails, a lot more green space, little quaint places to go and drop in on. So it's really nice to have such a variety right here. And so,
You know what I always like to do when I am exploring a new neighborhood is I'll go on alley walks. So instead of seeing the side of people's property that they are actively presenting to the world, sometimes you can find some really quirky little, garages and things that are painted in weird ways, and what's going on in the backyard?
Okay, well, we should go walk down the alley on Summit. Because there are some really cool garages.
Do they have alleys?
They do.
On Summit? Okay.
I think it depends on what section of Summit you're on, but yeah. Well,
I'm thinking down by Lexington.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Sounds like a date.
Yeah, there's some cool garages.
Sounds like I need to paint my garage. Make it more fun.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What have I just said? I need to paint it anyway. So we'll just make it more fun. All those half cans of paint that we have in the house.
You'll make it rainbow?
Sure.
Nice.
Rainbow's my favorite color.
Is that a quote from something?
No, the kids at school, the elementary school that I work at, what's your favorite color? Rainbow.
Nice.
So a lot of them do say that. It's like, oh, that's so cute. But yeah, it's legit.
Yeah, I have absolutely no complaints at all. Once we figured out where the air conditioner was. Because it was really hot and stuffy when we first got here.
Oh yeah, we felt totally safe where we were. And us going out on our walks and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So there were no issues with any of that. And I know you earlier on you had asked about the possibility, like house swapping or whatever you called it.
Oh, yeah.
And would that be the, that allows for a more personal connection with the people that is coming into your space.
I don't know how common that actually is, but I remember the movie The Holiday was very good.
Yes,
it was,
very sweet.
That was amazing.
Yeah, but that sort of thing, like here, is more familiar, and obviously you're our son, so it's familiar in that regard. But staying in somebody's home is much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Than a commercial.
Yeah.
That's kind of a word I'm looking for. What were you going to say?
I did have to hold myself back from, being like, since I knew that you two are staying here, I was like, oh, there's like X, Y, and Z like chores that I want wanted to get done at my home. Like maybe I could ask my parents to do like one of those things for me. And then I was like, Ian, they're on a vacation.
Well, like I said, one of the things is sometimes when you're relaxing, it's like, okay, she's taking a nap. I want to, we got stuff to do, but sometimes like, okay, I need something to do. Now you notice all your dishes were clean and put away from the ones that you had left on the drying rack were put away. And then the ones that we used and washed, we put those away.
We took the sheets home and washed them.
Yeah. You know, right? It's like, did Stina have to run over here before we got here to put some things away that might be embarrassing or whatever? Like, oh, mom and dad are going to see that.
There is a book right behind you that, like, literally a day before I left, spotted this like romance book in a little free library, and I thought it was so amusing that its title was "The Captain of All Pleasures."
Well, I saw that.
I was like,
okay,
well, I'm going to bring that
campy.
home, even if I don't read it. Like, this is just a funny book.
It's so classic for that kind of a novel.
Yeah,
it's like, oh golly.
So, what advice would you have for anybody else who wants to do this kind of thing? You know, having a staycation, doing like a house, like not maybe a house swap or just like staying at your son's apartment.
Are you talking about the people who are visiting or the person that's hosting a place?
Oh, I guess either. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tell them all what I did wrong.
Well, I mean, obviously, whatever. One thing is, I mean, to us, you're our son, so everything's forgiven. Like you're totally not unpacked.
Yeah.
You know, so like, there's no decor on the walls. You know, you left, and then we contacted you and say, hey, can we come and stay at your place? And your place is just lived in. You know, you got your blankets laying around, you got, a bag full of laundry or whatever sitting out, It's like, okay, if you knew that you were hosting, there'd maybe be a little more cleanup.
I probably would have, yeah.
So
It'd
there
be nice
is
to
that.
have a longer couch
Mm-hmm.
that, so they can actually lay down.
It would be nice to have a bigger living room for the couch to fit in.
Yeah.
It's a nice space though for watching, your TV.
Well, we don't watch TV, so
no, we don't. But for other people who might be,
right.
I'll help you put your art up.
Oh, thank you.
Which means I need to bring a hammer and nails. Okay.
I need to borrow a stud finder from my friend Brennan so that I can hang up the bike hooks on the walls.
I found one.
Yeah. He's pointing at me, calling me a stud.
That's right. Let's see. I think that for people that are coming to stay at a place, obviously the internet is a wide resource of, what kinds of things are available. But somebody coming into a new area might be like, okay, host, like you, Ian. What are some really cool things that the local folks like to do? Because like if I were to be traveling internationally, someplace else I've never been to, I would do much better staying at somebody's place that we know, might be a friend of a friend or whatever, that can kind of host and say, here's where we go, or we're going out to dinner, why don't you come with us, or hey, whatever, rather than just the internet saying, here's the tourist kinds of things to do, which might be what shows up here for this neighborhood. But what do the local folks
going
like to do around
along
here?
that, I remember seeing a welcome to the neighborhood type of brochure or something.
Are you talking about the Wedge Adventure book that's sitting back there?
Yeah. And I glanced at it and I was like, oh, this is really nice. I mean, it's that kind of thing, where it's like, oh, what's there to do or whatever, or having having the American Swedish Institute brochure or the MIA brochure,
sure.
or I mean. Yeah, if
Your little
somebody's
brochure
coming
rack.
from outside of the Twin Cities and they don't know about these places and they're literally a mile from here.
And those tend to be the more tourist kinds of things that, they have the money to put those brochures together. So that, along with what the host says, oh, you need to go down to this corner place because that's a cute little, or that beach is really, everybody goes to this one. This other one is better because,
Right, I would have told you about the mud pit.
Right,
exactly.
Well, it was interesting because the place we stayed in, Grand Marais, they actually made videos of
The host did.
the host that are not public accessible, but they email it to the people who stay at their places, and it's
Ahead of time.
Ahead of time, yeah. And they knew that we wanted to hike around, so yeah, they sent us several videos of
Where to go.
where to
And
go,
what you're gonna find,
you know,
and-
and yeah, what hiking places and da da da. And they actually were hiking, and they showed, you know, or
Which
they showed
actually-
how to get to
Which actually helped on some of it, because there was one time where, like on this particular trail, we didn't know which way to go, and it was not very well marked. Wasn't marked really, but the locals did, and you could tell on the video. It's like, wait a minute, they scampered up these rocks, and then you can see the trail going on,
Yeah.
but you would not have known that otherwise. So that was a local eye on what's going on there that somebody else might totally miss it.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to know, oh, you can only go around the lake if you're driving. You can only drive one way around the lake, or
And you can only bike one way around the lake.
What have been your thoughts on what might be some things like that then could key in some other thoughts? That, oh, yeah, there's
Well,
you as a host or as a potential guest.
I mean, I think a recommendation I would have given would have been Baby Zito. That's a really good.
Versus the big corporate
Exactly,
places
yep.
that everybody in the country knows about.
Right.
So shop local.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, unfortunately, like a lot of the things that I have taken note of about my neighborhood are things that are important to me as a resident and not probably important to, you know, I'm like, oh, I know which game shop I go to when I want to buy, like, you know, sleeves for my Magic the Gathering cards. I know where to go for my hardware store. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so like a game shop, there are probably visitors who would be like, okay, let's go check out the local game
Sure.
shop, because they probably have different decks, different cards, different equipment.
Well,
That maybe what
And if they have Friday Night Magic, you know, different people to play with. Yeah.
there you go.
Right.
Right.
Essentia Tea Bar is really nice for, you know, a nice space if you want to just like hang out and be in a third space that's, you know, public and, you know, drink a little tea or I think they do boba tea as well and
Bring a book.
whatever. Yeah. Mueller Park is really nice for like, you know, it's a hot day and I just need to like dip my feet into, you know,
Right.
there's a little kiddie pool there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good hammocking spot as well.
Is this the one that had the geocache in a spot?
Yeah,
that
there
way?
was a geocache
Mm.
there. Just
Yeah, see?
FYI.
Yeah. So just, I'm not telling anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I am like, as soon as you two said, we're coming back to do a couple of geocaches along the Greenway, I was like, oh, along the Greenway, you know, like, right. That's a space that I don't have to be zooming on my bike. I can spend some time on the Greenway and like, you know, take it slow and go and
Offers you
explore.
opportunities to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's a nice place to stroll. Okay, this makes me want to promote our neighborhood.
Yeah. What kinds of stuff would people want to do if they visit the Dayton's Bluff area?
That's true.
Yeah. Well, we have a new ice cream shop that's really good.
Oh, the Hispanics. Oh, there's a lot of good Hispanic stuff
Yeah, it's
coming
where
in.
the-
Restaurants and
It's where the
Is that on
Thrift store.
thrift store used to be.
Oh, in the Sunray?
No, on 7th.
there was
On
the
East 7th.
the Arc thrift store, which may have been it didn't have a big splash
Okay.
in our neighborhood, but
Anyway, and there's a Hispanic bakery like a block from there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got Mañanas, which is Ecuadorian. They're the ones with the pupusas.
Okay.
And
well, then there's Kitty Corner, that other little taco place, whatever. There's
yeah.
Sweet Hollow Cafe,
Yep.
That's
And then
nice.
there's
Classic.
the folks who dance.
Indigenous Roots.
Yes.
There you go.
Indigenous Roots. And they have a
Urban
little
Roots is something different.
coffee shop in there now too. And then they have a space that you can rent out like for a graduation party or a birthday party
Across
or
the
a quinceanera or whatever you want to rent it out.
Across the street is that little park that, well, not maybe right across the street from there, is that little park where there's art, always outdoor art installations.
Yeah.
Which is kinda
It's
cute.
right next to where the Dancing Goat used to be, which is now a law firm. But anyway,
Oh, yes.
and they're going to be showing movies once a month.
In the little park with all the art?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Indian Mounds Regional Park, which I believe is getting a name change to
Yeah.
a more appropriate native
Oh.
name, and
Nice.
I don't know what it is, but they've done some really nice changes to that in recognizing the original indigenous peoples that were there.
So they have a sign now that says this is a cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they have
Having respect, and a lot of stuff on there that tells non-indigenous people, like, what does this mean, cultural things. But the park overlooks, it's the bluffs, and it has the Mississippi River down below, and it has the train. I don't know what company it is that runs through there.
And you can see the airport.
The St. Paul Airport.
St. Paul
Holman
Airport.
Field is down there. But it's a fun, beautiful park, and with the view of the river and the airport and the train and the train yard and all that's going on up there is really cool. And the respect of the space that it is, of its indigenous origin, as a cemetery, a place for those spirits to be there. It's kind of I think it's a really nice place. I like to go down there, and when I can, to go and visit and just be.
And for people who bike, I mean, you can bike downtown one way, or you can go the other way and then go down Warner Road, or you could go to Battle Creek.
Yep.
So there's lots of biking that you can do.
And there's also Sweet Hollow Park is near you as
well.
Yeah.
Nice little, yes.
So
right behind Sweet Hollow Cafe.
Kind of the opposite vibe of, Mounds Park has, you're up high, you get all the views.
Yeah.
And in Sweet Hollow Park, you get to feel nice and enclosed and kind of
In the
cozy.
hollow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And the history of that space.
Yep.
Yeah.
People can pick up Bill Lindekey's public staircases of St. Paul, and there's one of the sections of that little booklet is a bunch of East Side staircases that are, many of them are right there in your neighborhood.
Ian and I rode our bikes and did that on Mother's Day one year.
So are these like staircases for homes, or
no public staircases like that are part of a sidewalk or
a bridge.
Like it has to be public right of way.
Okay.
In order to be included in this booklet.
It's cool.
Yeah.
We should do it sometime.
Right.
I had a lot of fun with Ian doing that.
If people like infrastructure like staircases, they might also be interested in the brand new pedestrian bridge, the Maple Street Bridge that goes over I-94.
We were just on that yesterday.
Yeah. We walked on it.
Or this morning.
Today.
I don't know when it was, but
I don't know.
Yeah, nice bridge. Well done.
Much more ADA accessible than the old one.
Well, right, because that one was quite significantly older.
For those who want to venture a little bit further, we got our own little chain of lakes. You got Lake Phelan that attaches to Keller, that attaches to Jarvis. I mean, you're getting out into the suburbs there, but
it's all, you can paddle. There are trails that go alongside them.
Yep.
And the Gateway State Trail crosses that, and that'll take you all the way out to Stillwater.
Yep.
So Mom and Dad.
Yes, sir.
Eric and Amy Buck.
It's us.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the invitation.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of the Streets.mn podcast. The show is released under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Non-Derivative license, so feel free to republish the episode as long as you are not altering it and you are not profiting from it. The music in this episode is by Eric Brandt and the Urban Hillbilly Quartet. This episode was hosted, edited, and transcribed by me, Ian R. Buck. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for coming on the show. We're always looking to feature new voices on the Streets.mn podcast, so if you have ideas for future episodes, drop us a line at podcast@streets.mn. Streets.mn is a community blog and podcast and relies on contributions from audience members like you. If you can make a one-time or recurring donation, you can find more information about doing so at streets.mn/donate. Find other listeners and discuss this episode on your favorite social media platform using the hashtag StreetsMNPodcast. Until next time, take care.